बड़ी वैष्णव वृंद की नमाचार्य दास ठाकुर की से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंदा श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की गो प्रेमानंदे all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, all glories assembled devotees, Guru Gauranga. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Hare Krishna, welcome back to Srimad Bhagavatam classes. Canto 1, Creation, Chapter 5, Narada's instructions on Srimad Bhagavatam, and today is verses 19 and 20. In schedule, I think I've done 19 to 21, but two purposes are quite long enough. So we'll start. Text 19. Nave jano jadu kadhanjana avrajen mugunda sevyanyat adanga samsrim smaran mugundangri ubaguhanam punar vihadmichena narasograharjanam nave jano jadu kadhanjana vrajen mugunda sevi anyavat anga samsrim smaran mugundangri ubaguhanam punar vihadmichena rasagraho jana Nave jano jadu kadhanjanam vrajen mugunda sevyanyavad anga samsrim smaran mugundagni uvaguhanam punar vihadumichenna rasagraha jana. Sarjamadi.
Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Navaijano Jadu Kadanjana Praje Mugunda Sevyanyavadanga Samsridim Smaran Mugunda Grubakuhanam Puna Vihadamichena Rasagraho Yadaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Yes, Milindam again.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Nave jano jatu katan jana vrajen mukunda sevi anyavad angas samsritam smaran mukundangri upagunaham punar vihatum ichena rasa graho janaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Snigdamaji.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Nave jano jatu athanchana braje nukunda sevyanyabadanga samskritin smaran nukundangru paguhanang puna vihatumichena rasagroho jataha. May I read the
Yes.
synonyms? No, never. Why? Certainly. Janaha, a person. Jatu, at any time. Kathanchanaha, somehow or other. Abrajit, doesn't undergo. Mukunda Sevi, the devotees of the Lord. Anavat, like others. Anga, oh my dear. Samskritim, material existence. Smaran, remembering. Mukunda Angri, the lotus feet of the Lord. Upagyuhata, embracing. Punaha, again. Bihatam, willing to give up. Ichchahat, desire. No, never. Rasagraha, one who has released the Milo. Janaha, the person. Translation, my dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly doesn't undergo the material existence like others. Because a person who has once released the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. Purport, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. A devotee of the Lord automatically becomes uninterested in the enchantment of material existence because he is rasa griha, or one who has tasted the sweetness of the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. There are certainly many instances where devotees of the Lord have fallen down due to uncongenial association, just like fruitive workers who are always prone to degradation. But even though he falls down, a devotee is never to be considered the same as a fallen kami. A kami suffers the result of his own fruitive reactions, whereas a devotee is reformed by chastisement directed by the Lord Himself. The sufferings of an orphan and the sufferings of a beloved child of a king are not one and the same. An orphan is really poor because he has no one to take care of him, but a beloved son of a rich man, although he appears to be on the same level as the orphan, he is always under the vigilance of his capable father. A devotee of the Lord, due to wrong association, sometimes imitates the fruitive workers. The fruitive workers want to lord it over the material world. Similarly, a neophyte devotee foolishly thinks of accumulating some material power in exchange of devotional service. Such foolish devotees are sometimes put into difficulty by the Lord Himself. As a special favor, He may remove all material paraphernalia, but such action he bewilder the devotee is forsaken by all friends and relatives, and so he comes to his sense again by the mercy of the Lord and is set right to execute his devotional service. In the Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that such fallen devotees are given a chance to take birth in the family of highly qualified brahmanas or in a rich mercantile family. A devotee in such a position is not as fortunate as one who is chastised by the Lord and put into a position seemingly of helplessness. The devotee who becomes helpless by the will of the Lord is more fortunate than other those who are born in good families. The fallen devotees born in a good family may forget the lotus feet of the Lord because they are less fortunate, but the devotee who is put into a forlorn condition is more fortunate because he swiftly returns to the lotus feet of the Lord, thinking himself helpless is around. Pure devotional service is so special, so spiritually releasable that a devotee becomes automatically uninterested in material enjoyment. That is the sign of the perfection in progressive devotional service. A pure devotee continuously remembers the lotus feet of Lord Krishna and doesn't forget him even for a moment, not even in excess of for all the opulence of the three worlds. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Text 20. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan vetaro yado jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadvi swayam veda bhavam sada vide padesha matram bhavada padashidam. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan vetaro yado jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadvi swayam veda bhavam sada vide padesha matram bhavada padashidam. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan videtaro yado jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam ved bhavam sata vide padesha matram bhavada padashidam. Hare Krishna. Yes, Sarija Maji.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Dam hi vishwam Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Dam hi vishwam Bhagavani Vedaro Yado Jagasthana Nirodha Sambhava Taddi Swayam Veda Bhavam Sada Vivai Pradesha Matram Bhavada Pradarshidam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sarija Maji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Idam hi vishwam Bhagavan nivetaro yato jagasthana nirodha sambhavaha tadhi swayam veda bhavas tathapi vi pradesha matrang bhavatah pradarshitam. Hare Krishna.
Krishna is Melindamati.
Hare Krishna. Idam hi vishvam bhagavan yavetaro yato jagat sthana nirodha sambhavaha tadhi swayam veda bhavams tathapi te pradesha matram bhavatah pradarshitam. Hare Krishna. May I read, Prabhuji?
Yes.
Idam, this, he, all, Vishwam, cosmos, Bhagavan, the Supreme Lord, Eva, almost the same, Ittaraha, different from, Yataha, from whom, Jagat, the worlds, Sthana, exists, Nirodha, annihilation, Sambhavaha, creation, Tat he, all about, Swayam, personally, Veda, know, Bhavan, your good self, Tatha, api, still, te, unto you, Pradesha, matram, a synopsis only, Bhavataha, unto you, Pradarshitam, explained. Translation: the Supreme Lord, Personality of Godhead, is himself this cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only has this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada Ji ki Jai. For a pure devotee, the conception of Mukunda, Lord Shri Krishna, is both personal and impersonal. The impersonal cosmic situation is also Mukunda because it is the emanation of the energy of Mukunda. For example, a tree is a complete unit, whereas the leaves and the branches of the tree are emanated parts and parcel of the tree. The leaves and branches of the tree are also the tree, but the tree itself is neither the leaves nor the branches. The Vedic version that the whole cosmic creation is nothing but Brahman means that since everything is emanating from the Supreme Brahma, nothing is apart from him. Similarly, the part and parcel, hands and legs, are called the body, but the body as a whole unit is neither the hands nor the legs. The Lord is the transcendental form of eternity, cognition, and beauty, and thus the creation of the energy of the Lord appears to be partially eternal, full of knowledge, and beautiful also. The captivated conditioned soul, under the influence of the external energy Maya, are therefore entrapped in the network of the material nature. They accept this as all in all, for they have no information of the Lord, who is the primeval cause, nor have they information that the parts and parcels of the body, being detached from the whole body, are no longer the same hand or leg as when attached to the body. Similarly, a godless civilization, detached from the transcendental loving service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is just like a detached hand or leg. Such parts and parcel may appear like hands and legs, but they have no efficiency. The devotee of the Lord, Sri Vyasadeva, knows this very well. He is further advised by Srila Narada to expand the idea so that the entrapped conditioned souls may take lessons from him to understand the Supreme Lord as the primeval cause. According to the Vedic version, the Lord is naturally fully powerful, and thus his supreme energies are always perfect and identical with him. Both the spiritual and the material skies and their paraphernalia are emanations of the internal and external energies of the Lord. External energy is comparatively inferior, whereas the internal potency is superior. The superior energy is living force, and therefore she is completely identical, but the external energy, being inert, is partially identical. But both the energies are neither equal to nor greater than the Lord, who is the generator of all energies. Such energies are always under his control, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. The human being and all other living beings are products of his internal energies. Thus, the living being is also identical with the Lord, but he is never equal to or superior to the personality of Godhead. The Lord and living beings are all individual persons. With the help of the material energies, The living beings are also creating something, but none of their creations are equal or superior to the creations of the Lord. The human being may create a small playful Sputnik and may throw it out into outer space, but that does not mean that he can create a planet like the Earth or Moon and float it in the air as the Lord does. Men with a poor fund of knowledge claim to be equal to the Lord. They are never equal to the Lord. This is never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of the qualities of the Lord, say up to 78%, but it is never possible to surpass the Lord or to become equal with Him. In a diseased condition only, the foolish being claims to be one with the Lord and thus becomes misled by the illusory energy. The misguided living beings, therefore, must accept the supremacy of the Lord and agree to render loving service to Him. For this, they have been created. Without this, there cannot be any peace or tranquility in the world. Srila Vyasadeva is advised by Srila Narada to expand this idea in the Bhagavatam. In the Bhagavad Gita, also the same idea is explained. Surrender fully unto the lotus feet of the Lord. That is the only business of a perfect human being. Hare Krishna.
Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakhayam Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakata Mahyam Dadadi Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Udapadakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajadam Sahagana Raghunathanvidam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijanasaidam Krishna Chaitanya Devam
Shri
Shri
Radha.
Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalitam Shri Vishagan Vidamsam Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Idi Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimade Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Namine Shri Vashabhanavi Devi Daityaya Kribabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnanadaine Prabhave Namah Madhuryojalavre Madhyam Shri Rupanuga Bhakti Dham Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namaste Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinadarine Rupanuga Viridhava Siddhanta Dvandaharine Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshal Vairagya Murtaye Vipralambara Sambodhe Padambuje Te Namaha Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Sachidananda Namine Gaura Shakti Swarupaya Rupanuga Varayate Gaura Virbhava Bhumistam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priya Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannathaya Te Namaha
Vancha.
Namo Vanchakalpadrupascha Kripa Sindhubhyev cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo
Namo
Namaha
Namaha.
Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gaurattushe Namaha Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Surupakam Bhaktavadaram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakti He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagalpade Gopesha Gopiga Kanda Radha Kanda Namastude Jayadam Surado Pango Mama Mandamadir Gadi Mat Sarvaswapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mono Vyad Vrindaranykalpadramada Srimad Ratnagara Simhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Preshthale Visevyamano Smarami Sriman Rasarasarambhya Vamshi Vadattarastiraha Kashan Venusune Gopi Govinada Shriyetu Namaha Taptaganjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaurabhatta. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Hare. Nave Jano Jadu Kadanjanang Vraje Mugunda Sevyanat Anga Samsudim Smaran Mugudangri Ubaguhanam Punar Vihadumichen Rasagraho Janaha. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes falls down somehow or other, he certainly does not undergo a material existence like others, fruity workers, etc. Because a person who has once relished the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord can do nothing but remember that ecstasy again and again. So wonderful verses, no? Are you relishing these verses?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes. That's Dasa. So, Sri Narada is giving a lot of nice advices to Vedavyas, pointing out actually what, as he says repeatedly, I am just saying what you already know, but I'm just reminding you. Somehow down the line you have forgotten this and focused more on Purushartha than on Krishna, and that is a cause of depression. You may say a cause of a small fall down, because all these verses are not talking about fall down only. So, Vedavyasa, he has very nicely described in verse 13. The qualities of Vedavyasa is very nicely described in verse 13. Because we can read it again and again in English. Ado Mahabhaga Bhavanamo Gadrit Shuji Swava Satyarado Drilavrada Urukramasya Ghilabandha Muktaye Samadhina Smara Tadvicheshtidam. You have been blessed with a pure vision. You have ardent listener, great listener. Your Sankalpa, Dhrida Sankalpa is very good. Always focus on truth, and determination is very good. Determined to help other living entities who are fallen. Because all these Vedas, Upanishads, Puranas are compiled or written by Vedavyasa exclusively for the benefit of the fallen people who are now rotting in the material world. So these people are full of compassion. But what you have to do is Urukramasya Akhila Bandha Muktaye. Only Krishna can give liberation. Akhila Bandha Muktaye. Complete liberation. You can say Akhila Bandha Muktaye. Akhila Bandha means complete bondage. And liberation from complete bondage can be given only by Krishna, not any other or any other process. Anyone or any other process. That we have to be very firm. That is called determination. That is called real knowledge. Our determination is grounded on knowledge that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and only Krishna can reward whatever the devotees desire. So, what you do that? Samadhina Smaran. You have to think about, remember his pastimes, and then describe it so that what happens? So that the people who are bound now can be helped to overcome their petty conditions. But if you describe something other than that, Tadonyaya Kinchana Yat Vivachada Pradat Drishya Tatkrida Ruvanamabhi Na Kahinchit Kwabi Chadukida Madi Na Karanchit Kwabi. Never. If you try to describe anything other than separate in the vision from the Lord, simply reacts with different forms and names and results. To agitate the mind, how? Vada Hadar now Rivaspadam. Like a boat which has been capsized in the wind. So Srila Prabhupada always used to focus on Krishna only. Harrison of the famous Beatles, he used to say that whenever you talk to Krishna, Krishna will talk only about Krishna only. So when you talk to Prabhupada, Prabhupada will talk only about Krishna only, nothing else. He'll focus only on Krishna. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. But later, in his some people describe Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam without mentioning too much of Krishna. Because they feel that if you straight away mention Krishna's name, the so-called secular people may not like it and they maybe move away. That is their logic or philosophy. But what happens actually, suppose you say something other than Krishna, and then later say that actually the idea is for Krishna only, Krishna is supreme, then the person listening may think that after some time you may say something else also. You started with something other than Krishna, then in between you say Krishna is supreme, then later can be seen that they may think that you may later describe something which is not Krishna. So to avoid the risk, it's always best to focus only on Krishna, straight away put Krishna limelight, because everything belongs to Krishna, everything is Krishna only. So why should we unnecessarily do something or try to do some philosophy, putting Krishna on the background and projecting something else? That's not very intelligent. So, Srinarada asked Sri Vedavyasa to address to some people who are expert, who can understand this, and then later he can describe this to others also. Such kind of a parampara you should set up so that people who are not very conducive or not very fixed in the devotion service may be helped, or they may come to right conclusion that they can help to come to conclusion that Krishna is the supreme truth and you have to worship Krishna only. That will only bring all those mangala, auspiciousness. And suppose a person who is relinquishing all his prescribed duties and taking up the worship of Mukunda, sometimes by chance falls down. Suppose yadi, if he falls down, Vishwanath Chakravarti is actually yadi, it is actually that the devotees will not fall down. Devotees may appear to have fallen down, but their connection with Krishna's lotus feet is so strong, their in appearance only they fall down, but their connection with Krishna will always remain intact. So he is not losing out on anything. At the same time, one person who is very attached to his prescribed duties and discharges it with efficiency and does it exactly as per Vedic injunctions, executes all his prescribed duties, but he is not worshipping Krishna, what is his benefit? He will not achieve what it is as a Brahman realization, will not be able to do, because the idea of prescribed duty is that to cleanse your impurities and then the knowledge will dawn, a knowledge of Brahman, and then you can go ahead and realize the Brahman. But as we have seen, any process, if there is no bhakti, no Krishna is not there, the process is bound to fail. So, ko vartapto abhajadam sudharmada. So, what gain this person who is very steadfast in his sukarma, what he gains ultimately? Nothing. A person who has fallen by worshipping Mukunda is not going to lose out anything. So Narada advises, tasyeva hedo prayadeta govido nalabhyade yad brahmadam varyada. So the intelligent people always advise that you have to aspire for something which is not available in all the 14 worlds. Brahmadam means when you're wandering. Brahmadam, Upari means higher planets, Adha means lower planets. As you know, there are higher planets, 7 higher planets and 7 lower planets, total 14. If you are wandering from Brahmaloka and up to Padala, you can do so many wandering between these planets, but you will not achieve anything other than Sukha, Dukkha, material Sukha and material Dukkha, which anyone can achieve as per his karma. Then you have to aspire of something which is not material. That is what the intelligent people advises. And that something is devotion to Krishna. So again, in this verse, 19th verse, again, fall down of the devotees distract. But that fall down is not equal to the fall down of other yogis or other spiritual persons engaged in spirituality, other renounced persons, even sannyasis. H.G. Satyavrta says, Mukunda Sevi Anyavad. Anyavad means other than. That is, the place of enjoying results karma, whereas practicing karma return. Those who serve Mukunda, na jadu, now returns to samsara, whereas those practicing karma, anyavad, they return. That is the idea, first idea is given here. Nave jana jadu katanjana avrajain. Mukunda Sevi. Mukunda Sevi means one who worships. So you have to connect the first sentence to Mukunda Sevi. The person who are worshipping Mukunda will never return to the material world, even though he went fall. But that means he is not prone to the suffering and the pleasures of the material world. But those practicing this other than this will definitely return. So I have given 3 verses actually in our group. Have you seen this? 2 verses from Srimad Bhagavatam, another one verse from Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad, 3.1.1. Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 87, verse 39. Yedina samudyade yadayo hridi kamajara dukki gamo sadam hridi gado asamskakandamani. I'll read the English one. Members of the renounced order who fail to uproot the last traces of material desire in their hearts remain impure, and thus you do not allow them to understand you, although you are present within their hearts. For them, you are like a jewel worn round the neck of a man who has totally forgotten it. It is there, O Lord. Those who practice yoga only for sense gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and the next from death, who will not release them, and from you, whose kingdom they cannot reach. So they are caught in between. So members of the renounced order means sannyasis, isn't it? Sannyasis who fail to uproot the last traces of the material attachment because they have not worshipped the lotus feet of Krishna. they have adopted some other process. They are not able to eradicate the material desires. They are not akinchana. Akinchana means person that we have discussed so many times. No, remember this word akinchana? Kinchi means even little. Akinchana means not even little. Please remember that word is very, very important. So a person, this is not so who are not able to do that, they will face this problem. In Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, Kumaras speaking to Kumara speaking to Prithvi Maharaj, Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto, chapter 22, verse 39. Please note down these verses when I say, because then you can go to Veda base and get them. Do you know how to go to it? Just type Veda base, then the shloka you do SB.1.5.19&20, it will come. Then you can save it. Melinda Mother should be knowing this.
Yes, Prabhuji, I've used it.
Okay.
Prabhuji, directly from Google, we can type SB1. That comes.
Yeah, that is also come. But I know
Yes,
sometimes Veda base is better. No? If you
Yes, yes.
4.22 means mostly it is Prabhupada only, because Srimad Bhagavatam there is no other commentary. It's Prabhupada only. Definitely
Yes,
come
yes.
only. But make it very sure you can put Veda base. That's all. Because then definitely it comes in nice format. Anyway, it says that that verse 4th canto says, Yad pada pangaja palasha vilasa bhaktya karmashayam grididam udgadayandi sanda tadvanna viktamadeyo yadayo viruddha shudagandastam aranam bhaja vasudevam. The devotees who are always engaged in service of the toss of the lotus feet of the Lord can very easily overcome hot-knotted desires for fruitive activities, because this is very difficult. The non-devotees, the jnanis and yogis, although trying to stop the way of sense gratification, cannot do so. Therefore, you are advised to engage in the devotion service of Krishna, the son of Vasudeva. So, same idea is given in 10.87.39. And very nice. And he said that since Krishna is a Paramatma in everybody's heart, but when you are not recognizing Krishna, when you are not accepting Krishna, when you are not surrendering to Krishna, Krishna will not instruct you from within. So Krishna may be inside, but Krishna will not instruct you. Very nice example is a person who's having very nice diamond necklaces in his neck, but forget all about it. And what happens? Those who practice yoga only for gratification must suffer punishment both in this life and the next. From death, who will not release them? Because they will be caught in this beauty cycle. And from you, the kingdom, they cannot reach. So Krishna will block the entry. And this karma will not release them also. So that's in a very difficult situation. So it may be asked why so a sage, a very nice sannyasi, he is also eligible for liberation, isn't? Question may be asked. The Mukunda Upanishad 3.22 confirms the statement of this verse. Kamanya kamyade manyasana na karmabhi jayade taratatra. Even a thoughtful ancient, if he maintains any worldly desires, will be forced by his karmic reaction to take birth again and again various circumstances. So that is a miserable condition of a renunciate, either karma yogi or jnana yogi or even jnana yogi, compared to a devotee who's condition is given in the next verse, 10.87.42. Todagami naveti, Todagavat naveti, Bhagavat Uttha, Shubha Ashubhayo, Guna Vignudavam, Stehi Dehabridin Chagira, Anuyugam Anvaham Sa Guru Gita Paramparayam, Shavanavrudo Yudastam, Avarvagadir Manuvjai. When a person realizes you, he no longer cares about his good and bad fortune arising from past pious and sinful acts. Anugami, one who follows Krishna. Such a person is not bothered about his auspicious or inauspicious, pious or impure deeds. Because he knows that everything is controlled by Krishna only. So Krishna, if he is letting, only without Krishna, nobody can do anything. Like for some people are very afraid of some black magic. They say that some people do some black magic and etc. And you may suffer on account of that. Belief is very strong in some areas. In Kerala also, that is I don't know whether in Orissa and Bangalore they have these practices.
Not that I know of, Prabhuji.
Yes, and there is a thing called black magic and all those things. Kerala, there's in Thrissur, there's a very famous temple, Thrissur district. It's called Kuttichada and all that. So some people go there and worship this. And devotees, even devotees are afraid of this. But why should be afraid? Without sanction of Krishna, not even leaf can move. Suppose you are victim of some foul play. You should understand that because Krishna allowed that only, you got it. So devotee feel very happy about this, isn't it? Krishna allowed, also we suffer. Krishna allowed, okay, you get some good, nice things. You can see the Srila Prabhupada's life itself. As you know, he was running a pharmaceutical company in Allahabad. He had a good business. Business was good. He's making some money. Then he lost interest in his business and focused on more and more on devotion. And finally, his business got trampled. And finally, one thief entered, this Gordon, and stole all those things from him. All the stock of medicines was stolen away. So Srila Prabhupada was very happy. Everything is gone now. So I'm a free bird. And then he went to America, and after a few years, setting ISKCON, having good contacts everywhere, and then money started flowing in. Lots and lots of temples built. A lot of money was also coming. But Srila Prabhupada was not affected by this. So many places Krishna write, Srila Prabhupada used to write, if Krishna does not allow, we cannot have even a shilling. But Krishna allows, we may have millions. So devotees is always equipoised. Dukkhena anudignamana sugeshu vigadajvira. So such a realized devotee who has disregarded that what ordinary living beings may say about him. Most of the times we are always bothered what people think of us, what people speak of us. And we try to make some adjustments and we do some compromise. But why you should do that? So instead of that, every day he fills his ears with your glories, which are recited each age by the unbroken succession of Manu's descendants, and thus you become his ultimate salvation. So this is the difference between the impersonalists and the personalists. Impersonalists fall means Krishna will help, not help. And devotees will now fall also. Why? Here is given, the reason is given. Smaran Mukunda Agri Upagrihonamanam. Because it is always think about this. But Vishwanath Chakravarti says, he says, the verse does not say remembering his lotus feet. He says remembering the embrace of his lotus feet. Upaguhanam, the word is Upaguhanam. Upaguhanam means mental embrace of the lotus feet of Lord. Mental embrace of the lotus feet of God, Upaguhanam. He is not as if he is remembering the lotus feet. He is remembering the embrace of his lotus feet. Punar, it says again. That means again and again, maybe two or two times may fall down because of what? Because of his lack of determination. He may fall down sometimes. But in the present state of distress, he will say, what I have done foolishly. I will not again abandon the worship of the Lord. And again begins the worship of the Lord. In other words, last two words we get of the 2 words of the last verse, last sentence. Vihadum ichen. Vihadum ichen means does not desire to give up. Does not desire to give up. Not rather than does not give up. There is a difference between these two words. Does not give up and does not desire to give up. What is the difference? Yes, Sindhamaji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Actually, we decide to give up, but we are not want to give it. And sometimes we want to give it, but the circumstance is not allowing us to give.
Yes, something like that. Actually, does not give up means what? I suppose I say I will not give up means what? That is,
I don't want to.
I'm banging on my ability, isn't it? I will not give up.
Yes.
I'll stick on this hot hospital. I will not. Because I think I'm strong enough. I can hold on to his lot of feet. But this person has few times fallen down because his determination is not very good. He has fallen down. So he says that he does not decide to give up. He doesn't want to give up, but sometimes, like you say, circumstances may force him to give up. So Krishna, he's crying out to Krishna. Krishna, I desire not to give up your association, but I don't have strength. Because I don't have the determination, because I don't have the determination, Srila Prabhupada says, I fall to some bad association. If you are very strong, they will not fall to this association. Because you are not strong, you associate with people, karmic people, fruitive activity people, and then you fall down. Because his weakness is me, the devotee cries to Krishna, because Krishna, my determination is not very strong. Although I desire not to give away a lotus feet, I do it sometimes. So Krishna, only you can help. This is a surrender. See how nicely our acharyas is describing this. In other verses also, in Learn Canto also you'll find similar one, because I have realized philosophy, I know Krishna's everything, and I've started worshipping the lotus feet. But because of old habits, force of bad habits, again I'm getting attraction to material things. This is my state of affairs. But Krishna says, don't be depressed on account of that. Don't be depressed on account of that. Be steady in the worship. Fall down sometimes will be there for devotees. That doesn't mean that devotee should be very dejected. Why he is not dejected? Because he is remembering this lotus feet. Vihadum ichen and narasagraho. Because of his remembering this embrace of the lotus feet. So he will not fall down. And Srila Prabhupada in his purport brings out very nice point, the middle point. The Bhagavad Gita, it is also said that fallen devotees are given a chance to take birth in the family of highly qualified brahmanas. See the sixth chapter, it is say, Arjuna is asking, what is the position of a fallen yogi? Krishna says that after spending so many years in heavenly planets, this yogi will take birth again in either mercantile family, Vaishya family, or Brahmana family. But Srila Prabhupada says, he said, a devotee in such a position is not as fortunate as one who is chastised by the Lord. See the difference? Actually, the sixth canto very nicely describes, although he has fallen down, still he can take the birth in Brahmana family and other families also, which is conducive or favorable for taking up his old practice. And if you see the verse 45 of this sixth chapter, he says that he remembers old practice and then steady practices again. After so many births, he will get back to he may be liberated. Please see the 45th verse, 40th verse of that sixth chapter. Okay, nicely you get the birth in Brahman family. Then you start, you take up the practice also. But ultimately it takes you many births. That means he is on account of his karma only, he is getting his rewards. He is given by Krishna. But when you are totally attached to Krishna, then Krishna will take care of it directly. And sometimes Krishna will chastise you because you are getting his material desires. So Krishna says to Yudhishthira in 10th canto, chapter 88, I think chapter 88, verse number 8. Yasyaham anugruhnami harishye tadharam shanaihi. If I am blessing one person, a devotee, I will take away his material wealth. Slowly I will take away his material wealth. Then what happens? Ado adhanam tyajendi asya sojanam dukkha dukkidam. That is given here, Srila Prabhupada. Foreign devotee is the devotee who becomes helpless by the will of Lord is more fortunate than those who are born in good families. A foreign devotee born in a good family may forget the lotus feet of the Lord because they are less fortunate. But the devotee who puts in the foreign condition is more fortunate because he swiftly returns to the lotus feet, thinking himself helpless all around. Thinking himself helpless all around. Tado adhanam tejas asya swajanam is always all devotees, also all his relatives leaving because he doesn't have wealth. So everybody leaves him. He is all alone, completely helpless. And when you are completely helpless, then naturally you surrender to Krishna, fully surrender to Krishna. So Pandava's conditions were like that. Pandava was always, Krishna giving so many hardships. And because of hardships, Pandavas always attached to Krishna. So devotional condition is so nice. Devotion is so nice that you slowly lose attraction for material pleasures. The 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, chapter 2, verse 42, there is a very nice sloga about verse for this. Bhakti pareshana bhavo viraktir anyatra cheshatrikara ega. Bhakti paresha anubhavo virakti anyatra. Bhakti means experiencing Supreme Lord, devotion, bhakti, paresha, anubhavo, virakti, ranyatra. Three things. Devotion, paresha anubhava means experiencing the Supreme Lord, and virakti, anyatra means detachment from other things. Happen simultaneously. These things happen simultaneously. For whom? Pravadyamanasya, one who is surrendered to Krishna. Pravadyamanasya. Three things happen. Yada, how? Yada, anashnada, syus, tushti, pushti, chudapayo. Ashnada, one who eats. Suppose one eats. You feel the pleasure, fullness of stomach, and relief from hunger. Tushti, pushti, chudapayo. Tushti means satisfaction. Pushti means a lot of energy. And then chudapayo means relief from hunger. Anugasam. For every single grain of food you take, when you are very hungry, anashana means one who is hungry. Suppose he is given some food, he will relish this food, the taste will relish, then he get a lot of energy also, and then his hunger is also be diminished. So three things happen simultaneously for the person who has not in. Just like that, for a surrendered person, prabadhamanasya, bhakti, paresha, anubhav, virakti, anyatra. Virakti, anyatra. So this is the beauty of devotion service. It is so relishing. That is why it is called rasagraha. And then the next verse. Why it is so is described because Krishna is everything. Idam hi vishwam bhagavan vetaro yado jagasthana nirodha sambhava tadhi swayam veda bhavam sadavide pradesha matram bhavada pradashidam. Supreme Lord Personality God is himself cosmos, and still he is aloof from it. From him only this cosmic manifestation emanated. In him it rests, and unto him it enters after annihilation. Your good self knows all about this. I have given only a synopsis. So this is a real philosophy. Krishna is cosmos. Krishna is everything, but Krishna is different from everything. So Srila Prabhupada gives a very nice example of tree. The tree is a complete unit. If you have the tree is there, the trunk is there, the branches is there, twigs is there, leaves, everything is there. So that is a complete unit. But branches and leaves are also part of tree. But it is not tree itself. Because tree is neither leaves or branches, isn't it? When you say tree, is it leaves or branches? But when you say branches and leaves, automatically you know it's part of tree only. But when you say tree, tree is a complete unit, but these branches and parts and leaves are parts of other tree. Same way, the body is there, legs and arms are there. Legs and arms are part of the body, but body itself is not called as hands or legs. When the arm and leg is attached to the body, it becomes very efficient. It becomes very useful. But when it is detached from the body, although in appearance it may be hand or leg, it is not efficient. It doesn't have the old way of utilizing things. Exactly the same way, if you're detached from Krishna, who is the source of everything, then that is not a very conducive condition. You may have may give a show of making a nice living, but bereft of Krishna, it is internally a very suffering only. So this idea is given in Taittiriya Upanishad 3.1.1. Taittiriya Upanishad is always, as you know, these Upanishads are always samvada between two persons. Here, Varuna and his son, Bhrigumuni. Taittiriya Upanishad is a conversation between Varuna and Bhrigumuni. So, Bhrigu, the son of Varuna, approached his father and inquired, "O my lord, my respected father, please teach me about Brahman." He's asking his father, "Please teach me about Brahman." So, Varuna said, "Annam pranam chakshusha shodam manovachambi tam hovacha." He says that food, prana, seeing, hearing, mind, speech are all Brahman. Not only that, he expands his idea. Actually, in Taittiriya Upanishad only Panchapucha is there. 5 stages of realization. Annamayi, Pranamayi, Jnanamayi, Vijnanamayi, and Anandamayi. This is given in the 13th chapter. I think in one class I have described this. But then Gita class or Bhagavad, I don't know. Comes the 13th chapter.
Yes, probably in Gita class you have discussed all the 5 courses.
Yes. This is coming Taittiriya Upanishad. And then Varuna goes on to say, expands on this Brahmanic concept. He says, Yado va imani budani jayande, yena jadani jivandi, yat pranayas abhivishamti tad vijinnaswa tad brahmedi, satapo tapyada satapas tapeti. Yado va imani jayandi. From him, yato means from him, all beings arise. Yado va imani bhudan jayante. From him, all the living entities arise. Yena jadani jivandi. They all obtain. From him, they are obtaining sustenance. Manis is maintaining. Yet prayatya abhivisamdati. Vishamsati. Yet prayatya after at last after destruction, everything enters into Brahman only. So this Brahman now you should seek. So this is actually creation, sustenance or maintenance, and then destruction. Everything is from Brahman only. So Srila Prabhupada in his commentary on Madhya Leela 6.144 says that the fact that Brahman creates everything, maintains everything, and destroys everything makes it clear that Lord is a person. Otherwise, how somebody can do this? Because there is action is a action of creation, action of maintenance, and action of destruction is a. And if there is action, there is an actor, a person who is doing this action. According to impersonal philosophy, this impersonal Brahman is what God is Nirguna, Niragara, without action. So, Prabhupada quotes from Bhaktivinoda Thakura states in Amrita Prabhaha Bhashya that according to injunction of Upanishad, the supreme absolute truth is he from whom everything emanates. It is understood that the whole cosmic manifestation emanated from Brahman, the supreme absolute truth. The creation subsists by the energy of the supreme Brahman and after annihilation merges into supreme Brahman. From this, we can understand that absolute truth can be categorized into 3 cases: ablative, instrumental, and locative. So, Bhaktivinoda Thakura is describing these words, Yado, Yad, and Yad, Yado, Yena, and Yad, as ablative, instrumental, and locative. Let's see what is ablative. According to these three cases, the absolute truth is positively personified. In this manda, yada, absolute truth from which the cosmic manifestations enhanced, so emanated, is in the ablative case. This grammar only. Yada means ablative, but from him, from which that Brahman by which this universal creation is maintained is in the instrumental case, yena. Instrument means cause. By him. Yena means by whom. Yada means from which. That means ablative, starting point. From which means we will start origin. By whom means cause. It's an instrumental case. By whom it is maintained. And that bank into which the whole cosmic manifestation emerges is a locative case, into which that is moving, going into Brahman. So all this indicate that absolute truth is a person only. So Krishna says, Srila Prabhupada says, the Lord is having so many energies. Parasa Shaktir Vivideva Shuvede. If you go to Vedanta Sutra, Veda Vyasa talks about Parinamavada. Parinamavada means transformation. Brahma Parinamavada. It's called Brahma Parinamavada. Whole cosmic manifestation is due to transformation of Brahma. The Sri Parambara also, this is Brahma Parambara, Brahma Parinamavada. They maintain that. But Advaitavadi Shankaracharya says that Brahma Parinamavada is only an illusion because Brahman can now be transformed. There is no question of Krishna being transformed. It's only an illusion which think that this Brahman has been transformed. This is called Vivartavada. Vivarta means illusion of being transformation. Illusion of transformation is Vivartavada. Are you following this? The whole question is about creation only.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Others? Melinda Maji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Vedanta Sutra, the highest. In Vedanta Sutra, Srila Vyasadeva says that creation is due to Brahma Parinamavada. Brahma Parinama. Parinama means transformation. Brahman is transformed. Shankara says it's not formed. It is illusion only. That illusion that Brahman has been transformed is illusion only because Brahman can now be transformed. The Sri Parambara says that they but what happens is that they hold on to the fact that Brahman, when transformed, becomes material. Recently, just about, I'll post that. I just received one post from one of the Sri Parambara devotee was trying to disguise Brahma Parinamavada. According to the Brahman internally is spiritual, but when when it projects itself as a cosmic, it becomes material. So that is not correct. That means Krishna will be having, suppose Krishna descends, he's having material body. That argument is not very strong. That's why Shankaracharya criticizes, no, it cannot happen. But a real understanding is given by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu only. He says, Brahma Parinamavada doesn't mean Brahman has been transformed. It's the energy of Brahma that has been transformed. Brahman remains the same. Yes, exactly. You said Brahman cannot be transformed, will not be transformed. But the energies of Brahman is transformed. 13.20 of Bhagavad Gita says that Praviti Purusham Cha Vidhi Anadi Ubhavavi. Understand, Arjuna, both Prakriti and Purusha are beginningless. Gunam, Vikaram se Gunam Seva Vidi Pragati Sambhavat. But the Pragati is transformed. Transformation of Prakriti, because of transformation of Prakriti, this whole cosmic manifestation has been manifested. The undivided Prakriti is called Pradhana. Pradhana is a first state which is permanent. It is then undiluted state, unmanifested state. But when it becomes manifested, starting from Mahatottva, then whole world manifestation come into being. So Prakriti is a transformable energy or kinetic energy of Krishna, while the living beings, we living beings, are the part of Krishna's internal potency. Krishna himself is always in internal potency, although he has got his other potencies also, but he is not affected by, he is not in that. But we also, although inner parts, we have a tendency to be attracted or influenced by the material energy, so that we are falling down. Not Krishna is not falling down, Brahman is not falling down. It's actually giving the parts of Brahman which we are living in, Amsha of Krishna. Since the Amsha is a bit weak, not very strong to resist the glittering of Prakriti, the Amshas fall down. So both the living entities and the external energy are energies of Krishna only, but they are not equal to Krishna and they are not superior to Krishna. So Srila Prabhupada says, such energies are always under his control, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may, exactly as electrical energy, however powerful it may be, is always under the control of the engineer. So that's how Chaitanya Mahaprabhu very nicely describes that. And Jiva Goswami says that this Mayavadis doesn't understand the energies of Krishna. Energies of Brahman is, although Brahman is energy, Brahman is not energy also. Just like the example of tree, leaves, plants, everything. Tree is a whole unit, but tree is not branches and leaves. A body is not arms and legs. Same way, Brahman is not identified, although the energies are with Brahman, are emanating from Brahman. Brahman cannot be identified with the energies of Brahman. That is why we have this nice call Achindya Bheda Abheda. This is Achindya Bheda. Bheda means Bheda means separate. Abheda means not separate. But simultaneously one and the same. Energy is one with Krishna and separate from Krishna. Or Krishna is one with energy, but Krishna is not the energy. And this is a bit very difficult to understand. That's why it's called Achintya, inconceivable. So this is a philosophy developed by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and this is the best philosophy, the perfect philosophy, the precise philosophy which describes creation and Brahman. No other person can describe Brahman so nicely as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had done. Both Sri Parambara, their understanding of Brahma Parampara is not perfect. If I find this one, I'll post it in the group. There are defects in that, because they cannot really describe the Paramana. And because of that, the Parinama Vada was getting very strong. I mean, it's a Vivarta Vada rather. Parinama Vada is by Chaitanya, Vedavyasa. But Shankaracharya opposed Vedavyasa and developed his own philosophy called Vivarta Vada, saying that Brahman has not been transformed. When you say Brahman has been transformed, is only illusion, and that illusion is called Vivartavada. But Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came and corrected everything and said that Brahman has not been transformed, true, but Brahman's energy has been transformed, correcting both Shankaracharya and Ramanacharya. So Srila Prabhupada gives an example that creation, yes, we also can create. we can create Sputnik and we can create some rockets or some these things, satellites, which can go to other planets. But you cannot create planets. You cannot put into orbit. If Krishna had done. Can anyone can do it? Of course, old acharyas, they used to do it. They can, when Vishwamitra was able to do some planets, but not as perfectly as Krishna has done. So men with poor fund of knowledge claim to be equal to Lord. They are never equal to Lord. This is never to be. The human being, after attaining complete perfection, may achieve a large percentage of qualities of Lord. The most perfect living entity is Brahman. So Brahma, not Brahma. Brahma has got 78% of qualities of Brahma. So Krishna, how many qualities Krishna is having?
100%.
Eh?
100%.
Number wise, how many qualities?
64.
Yes, 64. So 78% of 54, 64 is how much? 78% of 54 is
55.
50.
50. Shiva is having
Eh?
Lord Shiva is having Prabhuji around 50 or 55, something like that.
Brahma is having 50. That is 78%. Let's see
Okay.
if if you have a calculator, you can see. There's a calculator. Yes. What calculator is this calendar only? Sorry. Yeah. So 64 into 78% is 49.92 is 50. That is Brahma. Now Shiva has got how much?
55.
55.
Yes, 55. 55. So 55 divided by 64 into 100.
85.
How much? 85%. And Narayana is having how many qualities?
60.
60, correct. So
90.
60 divided by 64 into 100 is
90.
having how many? 93, 94%, isn't it? 60 divided by 64 into 100, 94. So Brahman is a Jiva Tattva, Shiva Shiva Tattva, and Narayana is Vishnu Tattva only. But even Narayana, Krishna is higher than this Vishnu Tattva also. So Krishna is 64, Sriman Narayan is 60, Shiva 55, Brahma 50. So percentage 94, 90, 78, like that. So that most perfect Jiva Tattva is Brahma. He is having only 78. So that's why we say everything said nobody can be equal to Krishna or superior to him. It's called Asamurdha. Krishna is sometimes described as Asamurdha. A means opposite, Sama means equal, Urdha means superior. So nobody is equal to Krishna, nor superior to Krishna. So in our interest, we should always seek to Krishna, accept the superiority of Krishna, and surrender to Krishna, surrender to lotus of Krishna, which is called Sarvadharman Paritejya, Mamegam Sharam Bhaja. Krishna says, you obey, and that is for our perfection. Thank you very much. Any questions? No. Right. Vancha kalpadruvascha, Tavasandhuvi evacha, Vedanam pavanebhyo, Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
अंतकोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
श्रीला प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय।
निताई गौर प्रेमानंदे। हरि हरि बोल।
Oh.
हरे कृष्णा।